All right, welcome everyone to another episode of Modern Wong Chat. And tonight, one of my good old friend is Matt. He is an extraordinary person, a lot of fun. The best part is that he has a very nice mustache. Oh, but he also is the head of social media at Deviant. So let me go ahead and welcome Matt. All
Hey,
right, hello there, Matt. So I
hey,
keep saying just Matt because I don't want to mess up your last name. How
I've
do you
got a terrifying last name.
it's just that I don't want to mess it up.
So my
How
last name is pronounced Buchholtz, which is
you
apparently not the quote unquote real pronunciation of it, but how my family pronounces it. So
you are actually at DeviantArt right now, aren't you?
I'm at DeviantArt. Yes, I'm head of social media for DeviantArt. So I manage everything that you see currently on DeviantArt that is not on DeviantArt. So if you see anything on Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Tumblr, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, did I miss that one? Facebook. It's actually really interesting because
Uh-huh.
being a social media site, it's like, how does Facebook interact on Twitter? How does Twitter
Mm-hmm.
interact on Facebook? Being a site where you're constantly like, yeah, this is something really cool, but go back to our site and let's talk about it is always a bit of a challenge. But it's really cool because we get to just offer a lot of UGC, like user generated content to people
Mm-hmm.
that follow us. So I get to
Mm-hmm.
work in curation a lot and getting to expose a lot of new artists to people.
How long has DeviantArt been around actually?
So DeviantArt, I want to say, is the oldest still operating social media site in the world.
Dang.
We are going to hit our 20th anniversary in August. August 7th, we'll hit
Wow.
20 years old, which means we're older than Facebook, we're older than Twitter, and it's pretty crazy.
How long have you been in DeviantArt?
So I've been on DeviantArt for about 11 years, but I've been working at DeviantArt for just over 2 years now. So about 3 years back,
Mm.
the website company Wix acquired DeviantArt,
Mm-hmm.
and I was brought in post-acquisition as someone to help with elevating DeviantArt and
Mm.
making sure that we've got the right resources to really do what we need to do for the artistic community. And so it's been really exciting. It's been a great 2 years. I've been able to be a part of a lot of amazing projects, and it's been great. You got to go with us to Comic Con last year.
I did. That was great.
Yeah, you
I'm
were
gonna
on
talk.
that panel,
Yeah, that panel. No, I need to figure out where I put it. I'm sure it's saved somewhere
yeah. You've
very
you've got your
important.
placard,
I got
right?
my black. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, I've made it. I got my nerd cred. I'm like, yep.
Right? Oh my gosh, you were on a panel with Art Germ, who is like
Mhm.
art royalty. Like Art
Yeah.
Germ, if you haven't ever seen him, go to deviantart.com/artgerm. If you've ever seen a DC comic cover, any other comic cover where you're like, that's gorgeous, that is a beautiful piece, it's Stanley's work.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, you were on a panel with like amazing people.
Oh, we do know each other for a while. How did we meet each other?
Okay, so we met each other working for an awesome company called
Mm,
Ultimate Media
media.
Ventures, ran a
Mm-hmm.
program called Battle on the Strip in Las Vegas. Battle on the Strip was a program where every month the SLS in Vegas was hosting an esports tournament through Ult, which was awesome. And the first one was Dota 2, but we had an amazing cosplay contest. I think the prize for first place was like 10 grand or something
It was
spectacular.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great because the guys at Ult really appreciate like craftsmanship. They appreciate artists. They appreciate people with fandoms, which is
Mm-hmm.
awesome. That's exactly the level that you should be. You should be really appreciating those things because so much time and work goes into that.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought you in as a guest judge. They brought in Bindi
Indie
Smalls.
small. Mm-hmm.
Bindi does amazing 3D printed cosplay stuff. Just a master of 3D stuff. She's incredible. But yeah, we did that at the halftime of Dota 2 tournament was this cosplay contest. It was really cool.
It
But
was amazing. Like I
that's where
am.
we first met.
Tell me more about it because no offense, I feel like DeviantArt is not the number one social media platform anymore, you know?
It's
Why is
weird
that?
that other social media platforms exist. You're
But they're
right.
different type. But they're very different. They're very different for
No,
sure.
so DeviantArt definitely went through some ups and downs, but like it's always been the number one platform for artists, which is really
Mhm.
cool. We're right around 50 million registered users, which is super exciting, really cool. But the thing that I really liked about DeviantArt, and one of the reasons why, like, so like we're personally, I worked really with like a lot of esports, a lot of gaming stuff, a lot of community driven stuff in the past. And
Mhm.
when I was approached to, like, I was reached out to work for DeviantArt, I looked into it a lot. And the thing that I love about it and the reason why I took the job was they really like care about artists. And that's something
Mhm.
that is not always common. DeviantArt, the people that I talked to and interviewed with and spoke to at all the levels, and I mean, you know this as well. You've been into many
Oh, yeah.
closed door NDA meetings with higher ups and C-suite. They actively care about the artists, and
It's really rare.
that's really cool. Like the thing
Mhm.
that we did at Comic Con, for those of you watching, you might not know about this. There's a program at Comic Con that's been running for many years called the CCC. It's the Comic Creator Connection. And it's basically like speed dating for artists and writers to help them collaborate to form, hopefully, a project together. You might have an idea for a story, and I might have really good art skills, and we can make a comic book together or a graphic novel or whatever. We worked with Comic Con this past year to bring some amazing artists to the Comic Creator Connection. They had been short on artists in past years, and we thought, like, what better way to really give back to some artists who have been on our site for a while and
Mhm.
some really talented artists and bring them to some, up and coming writers that could use that partnership. So DeviantArt flew 10 artists from around the country to Comic-Con, gave them badges, gave them hotels, paid for their meals, and made sure that they had a good time at Comic-Con and really got to experience it. It was
Yeah.
really cool. Like, I really felt like we learned a lot from them as a company, even. Like, they got to meet
Mhm.
with our C-suite and just talk about what they could use as artists. And
Mhm.
we honestly took a lot of that into consideration as we build out like the new beta for the site. The thing I always hear, and the CCO at DeviantArt, Justin Maller, and I talk about this, is your skill versus your taste and
Mm.
the never ending pursuit of one to the other. You start looking at art, right? Whether it
Mhm.
be photography, whatever, and you say, I like that. And that sets your taste level. But
Mhm.
your skill might be here. I'm trying to make
Mm.
sure I'm on the screen. And so
Okay.
as you work towards that aspect, you're
Mhm.
constantly ingesting new stuff.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
that taste keeps going up.
Mhm.
And then you plateau for a bit and you go, I like where I'm at, but like, oh man, I should be up here and I should be better. And so you
Mhm.
work towards that, but that's constantly building and rising. I don't think you can ever really catch your skill to where
And that is the
your
artist
taste is.
mindset, I think, because like for us as artists, and I think you always have that, once you catch up, you have a small bliss moment. That's for maybe very tiny bits, right? You're like, oh, my stuff is good. Like I like it now. But within like a 1 or 2 weeks, like, no, this is shit. This is not good enough.
And I
Then
think
you
that's where part
Mhm.
of that imposter syndrome comes in. Honestly, I think the only time you ever fail as an artist is when you're not working towards something.
Mhm.
Because like if you're always trying to learn and you're always trying to improve, or you're always focusing on some way of growth, whether that be I want to understand color theory better, or I want to make my art look more like this, or I want to take on this project, you're always improving, you're always learning, you're always putting in the work. It's
Mhm.
only when you stop the work that you fail. Now, one of the big things that we're really trying to do is we're working to create the best spot on the internet for artists. And that's not
And
like a marketing thing, that's just a thing that we believe in. We're
yeah.
less than 100 people globally managing a network. Like, we have to believe that. We have to believe that we're doing something for like good to
Mm.
want to do it. And so every aspect of what we're doing is working towards that. One of the things that we're doing there is reaching out to creators like yourself and making sure that like we bring you in and talk to you about like what you need, what we could do better for you. Because like if the site doesn't work for you, there are infinite other social platforms or places, like whether you have a website or not,
Mhm.
that you could post your stuff. Why should you be on DeviantArt? We want to make sure that you have a valid reason to do that.
Any company, they should ask themselves like, why should people care? Why do they use what
Well,
we
we think
have?
that time is like such a huge asset, like such a valuable thing for everyone, right? Like you
Mhm.
only have X amount of time. There's no way that you can gain more time. Like if I'm an artist and I want to upload my piece to be seen, I'm uploading to Instagram, Twitter, DeviantArt, Facebook, maybe like Animo or Tumblr if I'm really trying. There are a lot of places where I can do it. So
Mhm.
why am I making the time to post to all of those? Or why is DeviantArt in my top group of those to post to? It has to have a
Mhm.
reason. And so we're trying to make that reason apparent by doing it right. And if we can form a community where you can talk with other artists, where you can be seen, where you can be discovered, where you can accomplish whatever goal you have, because every artist has different goals, then
Mhm.
we're doing our job right. If we do our job right, then like people will be on the site and we don't have to make it into something where we're trying to bring people in or show value, because the value is just there for you. And so we're working really hard at that. That's a big part of, like you mentioned earlier, Eclipse, which is what we're currently titling the beta for the new DeviantArt is a big step for us. It's our first big change in a long time.
Well, thank you so much for joining. I had a great time.
Well,
Thank you
thank you
so
for
much.
having me, dude.
Thank you so much for joining, and have a great night.